I am not playing a gotcha game on the side.
Don't play a gotcha game on the side.
I am not playing a gotcha game on the side. I
We
swear,
can
I would never lie.
choose characters to do voices for. So
But tell me when you
basically,
start the recording, by the way.
it started.
Oh, it has? Oh,
Yeah,
great. Just for the record, I am not playing a gotcha game.
yeah. Well, basically, the only thing I know is that there is death.
Wow, that's like
Yeah.
a lot of games. And let's go, Yahoo, as
Okay,
they
let's
say in the Mushroom
start.
Kingdom. Oh, Kami, oh, Kami, oh, Kami.
ONIKAKUSHI. Don't play tough, please just enjoy life in Hinamizawa to the fullest. Difficulty is extremely high. Oh boy.
I don't even know what that means. What difficulty? Isn't this
Uh,
just a visual novel?
I assumed so, but I don't know. Please do not limit. I will forgive you even if the world will not forgive you. Please do not limit. Okay. So
Is that
please
a
tell me.
Limbus Company reference? In Hell We Lament?
No, it's a Frederica Berncastel reference.
Freddy?
Wow. Vine Boom.
I thought this was a real story. What the hell color?
I'm sorry, I lied. It's fake.
Not of real life.
If I was going to be ripped apart anyways, having my body ripped apart would have been far better.
What?
I trusted her. You can see the screen, right?
Yeah,
No, I
this
still
I can
trust
hear
her.
the slamming audio.
Even in this very moment, I trust her. But I'm starting to realize I only wanted to trust her because I refused to accept the truth.
What's with the with the slashing sound?
It was as if I was trying to convince myself in such a silly sobbing voice, and those tears make something. The mechanical, repetitious sound finally stilled, and everything fell silent.
I just murdered someone.
Only the cry of the cicadas remained, annoyingly loud, and yet I felt as if I could still hear her voice. That's not possible. She's no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she
This is
repeated
off to a
those
great
words
start.
over and over, she never expressed any emotion because there were none to show. If she had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. Real? Then why
I
this
don't
pain, my
understand this.
eyes getting moist? Why was this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. I can't control the speed of the text, by the way, I'm trying to, but that's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently.
Wait, is it like auto scroll?
Yeah, it's auto doing it, I don't know. Maybe it's just for the intro. My spirit had
Yeah, it
suffered
is.
enough
It's
in
just
countless times. I'd wavered over whether I should just throw the battered thing away, except I've stubbornly refused to do that, haven't I? I'd feel better if I just threw it away. What, the body? Even knowing that I choose to believe it, didn't I? Only I
No,
can
I think you
understand
should
that
keep the
painful
body. You
struggle
should like
and
sleep with it.
appreciate it. That would be really smelly. Hey, me? I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it alright to just take the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind with her, like flowers by a grave.
I feel like this
Cool.
was auto translate.
Now then, calm your nerves. Well, this is the newest translation on Steam. Even though you can't feel your right arm, just lift it up. And with every swing, forget a little more. Whoa, that kindness made me happy. Oh, I'm making that noise with my spacebar. Or not. I thought I was. I don't know. Jimmy, right
No,
now.
it's the person's getting slashed.
Cool. Because this will be the last
I
time,
think
because when I swing this down, I'll forget. This is my first and last
this.
bouquet for you. This is
This
my
is my
Higurashi when they cry.
the cry for Al, chapter 1, Onisaki.
Perhaps I really did love you.
I mean, when you murder someone like that, I mean, that's pretty kinky. Oh,
Yeah, I know you think
presente.
so.
I
Achievement
didn't know there was
unlocked.
Spanish.
Someone has been
Oh, that was so
apologizing for a
hard.
while now. Okay, now I can do stuff. Cool.
Make sure to save.
Okay, but like, I will.
What's going on? It's just a black screen.
I don't know. Sounds like a train. Somebody has been apologizing for a while now. Okay. Oh, I see. I wonder what she's apologizing for. It felt wrong to eavesdrop, so I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I last went to the city. I only returned to attend the funeral of a relative. Even though I'd lived there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. Those skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads. The melodious cacophony of the crosswalk. Even the campaign speeches blaring in front of the station felt nostalgic. It's a little bit loud. Isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of locusts and the babbling of brooks. And the cry of the higurashi, the evening cicadas. Oh, that's what a higurashi is. Rather than making me feel
Oh.
lonely, that quietness has begun to instill a sense of serenity. There's nothing where I'm living now. I don't just mean there aren't any burger joints, there aren't even vending machines. Damn, yet
That's not
starving
real.
child
You're no
starving
longer
to
in
death.
Japan.
No music stores, no restaurants.
It's just one house, and that's where I live.
And no arcades. No arcades?
No.
Even an ice cream parlor would be unlikely. The nearest town has some stuff like that, but it's an hour away by bike. That's like my mom's house. Except it's like
That's not.
2 hours away by car.
I know. I was gonna say an hour away from bike isn't that long. It is kind of long, but just. But that's by bike.
But come to think of it, it wasn't really a big deal. There were music stores and arcades and ice cream parlors, but it wasn't like I ever hung out at any of them. I had lived in the city for 10 years and never once been to an ice cream parlor. What's wrong with you?
I don't think this person's real.
I should have gone at least once. Yeah, I mean...
No wonder why this is a work of fiction. This person isn't an ice cream shop.
It's only now that I'm starting to regret that a little. Somebody is still apologizing. Who's she apologizing to? RDK? She's apologized so much, so just forgive her already. Mikan? There's no reason anyone should ever need to apologize so much. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whoever was refusing to forgive her. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can't be forgiven. I don't know about that one. I killed your mother. It was just an accident though, so please forgive me.
My knife slipped and then it hit her 37 times.
Oh, it's okay. I forgive you. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologizing even now. And has she really done something that can't be fixed? I have no idea what she's done, but if it can't be fixed, then that's all the more reason to forgive her. Wait, what? No matter how much she apologizes, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. Okay. Hey, you, the one she's apologizing to. Why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologizing in such a pathetic voice.
Idiot.
She's too pathetic.
Pathetic.
She's just
Weak
a
and
meow-meow.
pathetic.
Keiichi, we're almost there. Wake up. I was finally rose from my nap by my father's prodding. Yo.
Yo ho ho.
Keiichi. Keiichi, we're almost there. Wake up. Blah, blah, blah. It seemed that the train had reached its final stop. We'd spent
Wow.
hours riding everything from the bullet train to the local routes. It was hard to believe that the landscape beyond the window in the city I was in half a day ago were the same country. No, that they were even from the same era. From there, we take a car deeper into the mountains. I chose the original artwork sprites for for this
I think
playthrough, by
these
the
are.
way,
I don't
because
think. I think. I'm pretty sure the sprite just accounts for the. Oh god, this is. I'm gonna turn down that. You can turn out. You can turn down audio live.
yeah, I turned down mine. I don't know if it did that for you. What was I about to say? I forgot. But yeah, I have the original artwork for the game
Doesn't
because
that only? Does that only account for like the actual character sprites and not like
uh yeah, I think
the
so.
background?
I think so.
Because I feel
Because, I
like
mean, people say that the original sprites are ugly, but, like, people who are, like, big fans of the game tend to prefer them. So, I'll trust them. And also, they look really funny. So,
I think it's
I
just
like
because it
them.
doesn't fit with the. It doesn't fit with the what do you call it? The themes of the story. But to be fair, that's like
I
a
don't
lot.
know.
That's like this is an old
Kawaii
gameplay. How
chibi,
is it supposed to be?
yeah, kawaii
Cause
chibi girls and murder
wait, Yachi?
are very fitting things.
um, wow, you're so kawaii, Chi. You're so
There,
kawaii,
where I
Chi
live
Higurashi.
now. Hinamizawa. So he's moving to the countryside. Cool.
Wow, like a true liberal.
This is me moving to Napa, except I don't live there anymore.
So it's not you.
It used to be me 3 years ago. Even though we were approaching summer, the morning air still had a frigid bite. Although in exchange you could fill your lungs up with crisp, clean air. Flipping open the window, I was greeted with a verdant expanse. Nothing but trees. The neighboring house was far away on the other side. So I was probably the only one enjoying that view and that air. I filled my lungs with another deep breath. Since I started living in Hinamizawa, I learned that even air had its own taste. Cool. Nice music.
Oh, now it's so happy.
I quickly finished getting ready for school and headed downstairs for breakfast.
Puts toast in my mouth.
My mother was the only one there. My father was nowhere to be seen. He was probably up working until the early morning. Dad had a rather unconventional job as a painter. Such a laid-back profession. Really? Get up when you want, sleep when you want, and work when you want. I was so jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. I even wrote for school that I wanted to be a painter when I grew up. Dad was ecstatic about it. It was just because it looked easy. I'd never tell him that, though. Mom
And then
laid
my
breakfast
right
out
arm
on the
got chopped
table.
off, and I can no longer do art.
Sad. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, raw egg, and grilled salmon. My mom was such a good cook, it was scary. Perfect, immaculate, ideal breakfast. Unlike my dad, who didn't even know the meaning of the word schedule, my mom never squandered any time or effort. She hummed a little tune as she brought over the miso soup. It seemed like she was in a good mood today.
I
I'm
think
so
the main
happy
character
you've
has a
been...
bias
Wait,
in
why?
family members.
He hates his mom?
No, unlike my father.
No, but he wants to be a painter like his dad.
No,
He's
he only
jealous.
said because it was easy.
Still.
Yeah, he's jealous of how easy it is. That is true.
Hmm. I'm so happy you've been waking up early since we moved here, Keiichi. If I don't wake up early, I won't have time to eat breakfast. I thought I was being cute, responding with a wisecrack after being praised for being good. Full bowl of rice, or will half be enough? Pile it on. First, I savored the
Actually, it's
steaming
half
hot rice
empty.
with the seaweed. After that, I covered it with the egg. Between bites of rice, I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. Cool. Pickles first thing in the morning is kind of insane, but
I
it's
have
like
never had a pickle in like 2 years.
you've never had a pickle in like 2 years.
I mean, like, I don't have like a jar of it sitting around, so it's not like a thing that I usually eat.
I know it's normal in Japan, but to eat pickled vegetables. I just don't like any pickled
I know.
vegetable,
Also,
really.
and also like they give you with the McDonald's. McDonald's always gives you 2 slices of pickles. Yeah, I just tossed that out. I don't trust McDonald's enough.
And that's normal. I mean, it's like,
I know. I know. I'm very normal.
you know, the whole he asked for no pickles meme.
Oh yeah. Continue.
Excellent, as usual. Watching me clean my plate, Mom gave me a warm smile. I'm so happy you haven't skipped breakfast ever since we moved here, Keiichi. I was not a morning person when we lived in the city. I slept right until the last minute before school and rarely ate breakfast. Boycotting the breakfast Mom made me each morning. That was probably the only way I could protest being forced to attend cram school. I guess that was what you'd call my rebellious phase. Cool, I guess. I wouldn't so much look at the breakfast she woke up early every day to make. If I could go
You'd
back
have
in
to
time,
click.
I'd slap myself.
You keep clicking the end thingy. You just have to. You don't have to.
I know, it's because it didn't work when I first did it, but whatever. Mindful of the time, Mom rushed me along with a wide grin. Yeah, you have to click it, no spacebar. Isn't it about time to meet up with Rena-chan? Hurry, hurry. Mom really seemed to enjoy the fact that her son was going to school with a girl. Just one girl.
Woman, a wooga wooga eyes pop out of sockets.
One singular girl in the school.
Me when I see a woman.
Rena is one of my classmates. She really loves looking after people, coming to meet me every day without fail. The way I looked at it, a guy my age walking to school with a girl was just lame. Why?
Because they're
Okay.
sexist. A
Oh.
woman? I would never be associated with one of those.
But while keeping a classmate waiting for me every day wouldn't be very considerate. Seriously though,
I
how
keep
long does
thinking of
Rena...
Keiji. I keep thinking about the cop from Your Turn to Die when they say Keiji, because
Well, it's
because he
Keiichi
has
for
a.
this one.
I know but like it's just spelled very similar. And
He's
so
a
I just keep
cop
thinking
at
about the
like 2
copper, and
years
I'm like,
old.
wow, he's hot.
Is he? I don't think
Have you
so.
seen art?
I saw
There's so
him.
much. There's so many art.
There's so many.
Even manly badass hero uh praised his arm and maybe slurped.
Oh, he's okay. Seriously though, how long does Rena wait for me every morning? Taking one last gulp of miso soup, I race for the door. Please thank Rena-chan for the pickles. Come to think of it, those pickles weren't store-bought, were they? If I'd known that, I would have savored them a bit more. Morning!
What?
Are we about to see a human being? For
I
the
would
first
savor them
time?
more. Morning.
Keiichi-kun... Wait, who should be who? Do you want to be her?
Sure, Keishi-kun. Good morning.
Her cheerful greeting was as fresh as the morning itself. You're
You're always
always...
so
Wait.
early.
It doesn't say
I
who's
that oh
speaking. It's like...
fuck. I hate this.
I can't tell who's saying that. And...
That's Keiji.
Oh, you're always so early. You should try sleeping in sometime.
If I slept in, I'll keep you waiting. Oh wow.
Oh, wait, no, cause
Oh, wait, what
he
is
always
this?
wakes
Okay,
up early.
you're. No, he literally just said that he was a morning. He wasn't a morning person. He would sleep to the last. Okay, whatever.
In the city, but now he
Whatever.
gets up every
Read
day.
this first. Read this first. We'll figure it out.
If I sleep in, I'll keep you waiting. Yeah, cause keeps her waiting because she waits every day for him. She's so conscientious and such a good person. Okay, I think that's her.
If that ever happens, I'll just leave you behind. Wow, what a what an
Oh wait, no,
asshole.
never mind. I
Wait,
can't
oh my
tell
God,
who's speaking.
This is wow, this game is good.
If that ever happens,
Kishikun,
I'll
you're
just
so
leave you behind.
Kishikun, you're so cold. I wait for you all the time.
I'll leave you
Okay.
in the dust without looking back. Lol.
Why are you so mean? Why? Is that because you're a man? Okay.
Rena had a slightly troubled look on her face. Yeah. Toying with her was rather fun because of how quickly her mood changed. Wow. I'm
What an
kidding,
asshole.
I'd wait for you. With those words, Rena seemed to relax. Her face flushed bright red.
Thank you. What a...
I'd wait forever until you came, Rena. No matter how long.
For forever. I don't like this. I don't like our main character.
He's so weird. I don't know what to think about him so far. He's
Is
like,
he supposed to be a
I don't
self-insert
know.
or like I don't understand him?
I don't. Well, maybe it's one of the rare non-self-insert protagonists for a visual novel. He has a
I s-
personality, and it's a strange one.
and I don't like him.
Hope he dies
Continue
first.
on.
Rena turned bright red,
Well,
steam
hopefully he's
rising from her
homosexual,
head.
so he gets killed first. There we go.
That's sure to happen, as her brain short-circuited. She's especially weak to this sort of talk. It's quite rare to find someone this fun to tease. Have you ever read a romance novel, Rena?
Huh? I haven't. Never read it. Really? I never read anything before.
I never read before.
I never read before.
From that response, I gathered she was interested in them, but was too embarrassed to actually buy one. I couldn't imagine what would happen if she did read one. She'd probably turn red and pass out. Oh yeah, message from Mom. She says thanks for the pickles.
It was nothing. You're welcome. How were they? Not too salty?
They weren't that salty. Actually, they
Are
had a
pickles
pretty light
salty?
flavor to them. Oh, they're vinegary. I guess that's kind of salty-ish.
I wouldn't know.
It would have been fine to just be honest and say they were good, but apparently I couldn't be that forthright. I'd like to ask something
Fortnite?
before that. The one who pickled them was... Wait, were you the one who pickled them, Rena? Or was it your mom?
Huh? Huh? Why do you ask? Were they too salty?
Her attitude completely changed as she began to panic frantically. Was it you, Rena, or was it your mom? Why are
It's
you
your mother.
tormenting her?
Why are you asking who made them? Why?
She's gonna cry.
I don't understand. She's gonna...
Depending on who made them, my opinion of them might change drastically. What's wrong with
Wow.
him?
I love this protagonist. Huh? Huh? Huh?
She counted frantically on her fingers, trying to remember the amount of salt she'd used to pickle them.
What,
How
like
many
she put like
grains
she
she
grabbed
used.
how many like she used like a little like individually picked out the salt
1, 2, 3, 4.
3
I-
4.
It wasn't like I was trying to tease her, but I couldn't stop myself. Guys who take pleasure in this kind of thing are probably the worst. Guys like me. At least
Okay,
they're
then why are you
self-aware.
doing it?
I don't know.
I'm so, that's a yeah.
Rena nervously opened and closed her mouth over and over, trying to muster a response.
It's like a pop cap. It was me.
Delicious.
Huh?
Pretty good, just like the last ones. They went perfectly with the rice. Her face went bright red again. She was completely spacing out. It truly was a lot of fun to tease her. I pray that Rena never gets taken advantage of by some lowlife.
You
Keep
are
at
a
it,
low
Rena.
life.
I'll train you until you handle it like the average person. Whatever that's
You're
supposed to
the
mean.
you are a low. What are you talking about?
The lowlife in question. Or so I decided for myself. I just slapped my microphone, oh well. Let's go. If we keep Neon waiting, we'll never hear the end of it. Seeing as she just keeps spacing out otherwise, I called Rena back to reality so we can make our way to school. This strange, easily flustered girl is Rena Ryugu. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realize it's just not just her name that's strange. Is that a strange name?
I wouldn't know. We're not we're not Japanese. We're weeaboos.
I thought Rigu's like maybe I thought Rigu's like dragon, but that might be Ryuku for
Okay,
gore.
I guess I okay, Mia-chan, good morning. Ohio. I don't know.
Ohio. Coming up to the next rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved. Should I be green?
Wow, wait a minute. You didn't tell me that there was a green person in this game.
Oh right, I forgot.
You can play.
Okay, fine. Ah, finally, you two are late. Usually you're the one who's late. In sharp contrast to the diligent Rena, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. She's Mion Sonozaki. From what it's worth, she's our senior and head of the class.
She also does not have a strange name.
Morning, Rena, and it's been a while, Kei-chan. How many years? I was only off 2 days. Ah ha ha. You don't say. You were so much cuter back then. Mion's
You look
gaze.
ugly now.
Mion's gaze started at my chest, then dropped straight down, focusing on the point. Wait, what the fuck? Male objectifier?
Are you? What happened to your penis? Did you transition?
No, this balances out the dynamic, because Keiichi objectifies women, and then Mion objectifies men, and then Rena can objectify nobody. So it balances out.
Because she's weird. She has a weird name.
She's too weird.
No-
She's weird, girl.
No objectification for you. I'm
Wait,
so
I
confused
forgot.
by this story.
So she was saying it was my crotch that was cuter back then. Yeah, let's go with that. Sure.
Oh my god.
I won't question a single thing. Before you ask, just to be clear, I've never actually tried to show it to her. That's cool,
Can you, like,
Keiichi.
Can you like remove your mouse? I think that's
No.
fun.
I can give her a nose. She doesn't have one for some reason, but Mion has one.
Nobody in this universe has a.
She has one.
I've never seen it. Her nose is orange.
Orange. I've grown quite splendidly. You'd be surprised. Not only is he bigger, but he has a little mustache now. Ew.
I'm just thinking of him.
Keiichi Brazil.
Brazilian.
Being so engorged with energy every morning is quite a problem, though. I'll introduce you next time, so be sure to greet him properly. Don't say next time, right now is just fine. How about letting the little guy get a breath of fresh morning air? Yeah, just take your pants off in the middle of this road. That's
Pussy.
very smart. Don't think I've ever heard talk so dirty you could smell it fouling up in the morning air before. Yeah. Mion sure does act like an old man sometimes. Gotcha. Time for the big reveal.
You've met some weird men in your life.
Nah, that's pretty common old man behavior.
Yeah.
Hope you don't regret it. Wait, don't do that. Stop.
What's happening? What? Aren't these like elementary, like
Well,
elementary,
judging
like middle schoolers?
probably middle school, judging by that uniform. As my hand reached for my fly, Rena began to ramble in a near panic. It's you.
Hey, what are you talking about? Yeah, no, I'm just... What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Were you following the conversation?
Red-faced and flustered, Rena tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we were talking about. Moving on from that, then. How was it? Seeing the city again. Mion switched gears, dropping the dirty talk and changing topic to something more fitting. The pleasant morning. I only went for a funeral. I didn't have much time. So yeah, did you look for it? That thing I asked for? You're not listening at all. I just came back from a funeral. I didn't have any time
Why
to
were
look
you
around
out
in
of?
toy stores.
Why were you at a few? Okay, this is not a pleasant morning conversation.
Maybe his grandma died. I don't know. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Toy stores and hobby store hobby blah, blah, blah. Toy stores and hobby shops are completely different, you know. It's really difficult to get Western stuff around here after all.
Oh, they're American weeaboos.
There are marabous.
Is this about the game again, Mi-chan?
Mion nodded proudly as Rena giggled. Yep. Yep, I wanted Kei-chan to bring me back a Westport catalog, you see. Westport was short for Western Imported Games. Using that abbreviation did make it sound pretty geeky. You can just get them to send you one in the mail, can't you? Well, guess I have to now. I'm going to get another game full of hot action. Of course you are. Why wouldn't you? This time, I like a game that's easy to understand. Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I hear she's collected quite a lot of different ones. According to Rena, Mion's room has kind of become a museum for domestic and foreign games. I see. If there's a game you'd think I'd understand, let me play it too. Heh, of course.
Is that Mion? Is that Rena speaking? Oh no, that's Keiichi.
I think it's Kei. Yeah. If Kei-chan is up for it, I should warn you though.
No,
We're
wait.
pretty tough.
Shoot, that's me.
Are you
There's
sure?
a game. Yeah, because it says if Kei-chan is up for it.
Oh.
If there's a game that you think I understand, let me play too. Wait, is she dumb? Does she not know how to play?
I don't know. If she's getting Western imported games, maybe they're in English.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Just what I want. I play all sorts of games. I don't intend to lose. Whoa.
Whoa. Then we'll let you in the group this time, I guess. Haha. I guess. Oh, wait, why did you repeat the same?
I guess. Bristling with joy from head to toe, Rena looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave her an affirmative wink, and her expression perked up even further. I thought boys preferred playing outside more, so I figured you wouldn't want to. Oh, it's you. I'm sorry. I should just like do. Never mind.
You can scroll. I think you can scroll upwards. Can you use the scroll wheel?
Oh.
There we go. You can pull up the text log. I thought boys prefer playing outside more, so I figured that you wouldn't want to. I'm so confused.
From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I had moved here less than a month ago. I understood that they did all they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. I'll have to try harder to fit in so they won't feel like they have to try and make me feel welcome. I feel like if I acted a bit more open than I usually am, it should probably be about right for this place. Let's go to school! Hinamizawa was a really small village. Not only was there only one school, there was only one class. That class encompasses all different grades and ages. There are about 30 students at different levels, and they all study the same class. I'm told that long ago there used to be a bigger school building, and they had actual separate classes. However, it seems something happened that made it become a single class, and now it stayed that way out of tradition. I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I've already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. Such a lively mood. It felt more like a kindergarten than a proper school. Not that that was a bad thing. Let's go to kindergarten.
Let's go to kindergarten.
Mion, who had been walking in front of us up until then, suddenly let me take the lead, right in front of the classroom door. So I was meant to slide the door open and enter the room first. Heh. Too bad, I wasn't going to fall for that again. To think you'd give up the lead here. You meant for this to be a test of my skills.
Why did the music
your
stop?
door opening skills.
Oh.
Mion chuckled with a haughty smirk on her face. Ha ha ha.
What is it, you guys?
Step back, Arena. It's dangerous. She's here.
Huh?
I think that's
Then
you.
Satako-chan is
The taco.
Satako. Taco?
Taco.
Brazilian?
Her name was Satoko Hojo. She was a disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. The way she talks was annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over just that. The real
So I should play
problem...
this character.
What?
Because
You
she's
should be
annoying, I
it.
should play this character.
That's a great point. The real problem was this. Yeah, you should be it. Quite the obvious trap. A blackboard eraser wedged in the door. It's just too obvious, Satoko. A hearty laugh came from behind the door.
Ha 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 ha.
Excellent, Kei-chan. I guess that means you win
Wait,
this round? No, this is Satoko we're talking about. I doubt this is it. After falling for such intricate traps since the day I transferred, I no longer let my guard down. Satoko liked to combine a variety of traps. Traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one. Traps that relentlessly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine. The list goes on. As well as being clever, they almost never misfire. When you least suspect it, she strikes. Wow, she's a murderous thing. No
I just
escape, no
imagine one
time
of
to
them just being like a
relax.
ton of guns.
By the looks of it, this eraser is normal. No rocks or anything in it.
But
I
actually,
took
it's
a
a
pretty
pipe
heavy
bomb.
hit from the blackboard eraser loaded with rocks on my first day. It's a pipe bomb?
It's a pipe bomb.
I think that's Rena.
Oh. So then why don't you just open the door and let it drop? Hmm?
That's what it is. That's what Satoko was after. Making me focus my attention upward, so as I lifted my hand to the door, there were thumbtacks stuck to the sliding door handle with tape. A frightening trap. A potent and terrifying trap. Concealed by just using the blackboard eraser. Impressive combination, Satoko. But in the end, nothing more than the trivial machinations of a child. Assured of my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room. Then he got gunned down. I felt something strange at my ankle. It's similar to the sensation of a jump rope catching on my leg. Boing.
Monokuma?
By the time I realized she had me, hook, line, and sinker, it was already too late. I began to fall in an almost picturesque manner. Kei-chan, watch out!
Hey,
Whoever that was.
That's you.
Instinctively reacting to me. Yeah, it was Mion's shrill warning. I twisted my body in midair before I landed on the floor. Ow, ow, ow. An ink stone filled to the brim was placed right where I would have landed. I shuddered, imagining the situation had I landed square on it. There's you.
My, what do we have here? That's just a Toho character. Fair morning to you, Keiji-chan. Are we a lively one in this morning?
Still sprawled in
speak.
an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice. That was a step up from your usual trap, Satoko.
I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. You're quite unlucky this morning.
You little... Ow, 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 ow.
Ugh.
Seemed I'd inadvertently sprained my back a little when I landed. Spinal paralysis. Better than landing on that inkstone, whatever that is.
It's like a stone but covered in ink. Oh my god, there's a woman.
Purple. Who should be purple?
It's you, because we're
Sure.
voicing like, yeah, 3 out of 3 characters. Yeah, 3 out of 6
Small
characters.
hand gently rubbed my head. Pain, pain, go away. The small dainty hand continued to gently stroke my head. You didn't
Removes
sprain
nerve
your
endings.
back or anything, did you? If you rub it like this, the pain disappears. I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but I didn't. It's not so much about what you actually do, it's a thought that counts. Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now.
Wow. Yay, Rika-chan. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Rena. A good morning to all. Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable little bow. It was infectious. Rena, Mion, and I all bowed back. You're such a good kid, Rika-chan. So much better than Satoko.
Oh my
I glared
God.
over in her direction. Satoko was whistling, while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact.
I am the I am the very model of a good girl.
A good girl wouldn't set those nasty traps.
Or have those hands. Nothing but lies and slander. Wow, she really is me.
She literally, this is exactly how you talk.
Exactly what proof.
I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. Like a cat. Oh, she looks like a misbehaved cat when I do this. Literally you. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
She's much harder to deal with. I'm
I
sorry. Try saying that.
Oh, sorry, it's you.
If you won't say it. I cocked my index finger on my thumb, letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead.
I'm against violence. You don't even know. You don't even have any proof. Oh yeah, a source.
Just so you know, my forehead flick really hurts. It can split plywood right in half.
Oh, you're so strong.
Shriek.
I made a noise.
You did?
Yeah, I said,
Okay.
Eek. Stop! Get away from me, you beast.
Don't
Jesus.
say that in a way people will misunderstand. A small hand tugged the back of my shirt. She's been lonely since you were gone for 2 days. Rika-chan really is just so... How could I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick.
Ooh, him. It doesn't bother me. What?
You mustn't cry, Satoko. Keep on fighting, yeah?
Yeah. Yo.
Keep on fighting, yo. Rika gently petted the head of her prankster friend. You would never guess those two are the same age.
My
think
name is
Satoko-
my name is Rika. My name is Rika White. Yo.
I think Satoko could learn a thing or a million from Rika-chan. Next time, set an even more amazing trap. Wait a minute.
Promotion.
As she observed the scene, Rena's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon.
How Satoko is crying. So cute.
She takes pleasure in the misery of others.
Oh.
You can't take them home.
No, I can adopt them. Phew. But they're so cute.
Want to keep them as a pet.
Can we keep him?
Wait, whoops.
Wait, guys, like that line was great.
You can't, no matter how cute they are.
But just for a bit, is fine. It's fine. This character that like stutter.
Rena kept a cutesy face, even as that outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. According to Mion, Rena is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tries to take them home. Object or person. Stealing is bad, but
what if-
abducting people is even worse. Give it up.
Then I could just look. Keep just looking. That should be fine, right? Right?
Rena swooned over Satoko's crying form.
Has
If
Rena
a girl
tried to
ever goes
steal,
missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Rena into the authorities. Forgive me, Rena.
Has
I'll
Rena
be
ever tried to steal Keshi's dick?
It's not cute.
It,
It used to be 2 days
it,
ago, but it's not
it
anymore.
used to be, and oh yeah.
Remember the lore.
The lore.
I'll be sure to bring you care packages when they put you away. The teacher's coming. Quickly clean everything up. Satoko, that inkstone is yours, right? Just from Mion's single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad. I still don't know what the hell an inkstone is.
I can look it
But the
up.
thumbtacks stuck to the door handle were an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself.
Oh, it's like where you put ink.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. I'll just read the Wikipedia page and come back to you.
Oh, okay. Even though Satoko was the one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bedlam from before had been neatly tidied up.
Haha, we made it. We made it in time.
Rise, attention! Mion gave the morning commands.
Okay, so yeah, it's just like calligraphy stuff.
Okay.
It's
It's
something to
different.
hold like water and ink,
It's
apparently.
difficult being the teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one. But naturally, she ends up spending all her time with the younger kids. Rena and Mion, being in the highest grade in this class, end up mostly doing self-study. They even end up helping teach the younger kids, so it seems like they can never get to do their own studies. They're actually way behind where my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for their teacher and helping Rena and Mion with their studies.
Well, yeah, she's so cool. You're a pretty good teacher, Keiji-kun. But yeah, easy to understand.
No nya'ing.
Cause you're a man. Okay.
Rena took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section. Teaching is making me lose confidence. It makes me aware of how shallow my understanding of the subject is.
Is that me? What?
They say that to teach someone something, you need to understand it backwards and forwards. So while you're teaching us, you're getting it in your own practice. In contrast, this person over here is quite laissez-faire about things, whatever that word is.
Liberalism?
For one,
it means like
yeah.
future, like you know, more.
Isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me? Look, Mion, this is for your own good. If you don't take this seriously, there'll be trouble later on with these marks. It's not like I'm aiming to go on to a prestigious school.
Oh, that's me. That's me.
I'll be
That's me.
fine.
That's me. Yeah.
Wait, is it?
Oh wait.
But no, that's Mion. No.
Who character? Oh no, sorry. Rena's character sprite changed, so
Oh. As long as I
thought it was
pick
me.
up what I
Continue.
need to know for the entrance exams a little at a time. Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a different type of relax than somebody who already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams. Entrance, bleh.
Mei-kun, Keiji-kun is doing his best to teach us. We need to try hard too.
You're such a good and honest kid, Rena. I'll make sure you guys get accepted into a good school.
By any means necessary. What? Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
Especially you, Rena. Private lessons, just the two of us.
Listen, so cute.
Raku-chan? That's what you sounded like then.
Yeah, practically the same character.
A puff of smoke shaped like a halo popped out of Rena's head. Yeah. Exactly what kind of private lessons is she fantasizing about that's making her turn so red? I'd like to hear the play-by-play about that next time. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcard, she threw out a casual question. So in the city, do you have to study this much? If you don't know at least this much, you can't get into university. Wait, so are they in high school? I don't know.
I it's kind of weird. The characters, the way they kind of talk
Yeah.
and like how they're dressed seems like a middle school student, right? But
Yeah, I mean, it could just be because it's a small town, they don't have their own uniforms or whatever.
yeah, but
I mean,
like
they're
this
all
is
wearing
a.
something different.
I assume they were in high school, but it's just kind of weird. They don't really talk. I don't know how Japanese schoolgirls talk, so.
Well, I mean, this is just kind of typical, like, anime Japanese media talk, so I don't
Okay,
know.
so then it's definitely just high school. All these
Um,
stories are like high school.
yeah, most likely. So you study just to get into a university? Well, yeah, basically. While knowing that this stuff won't ever come in handy in the future. Out here, you can get into university as long as your attendance is good enough. Really? Study equal entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's you.
That is right. There aren't really enough people around here to warrant weeding them out with an exam. Because we already weeded out everyone.
If anyone can get into university, then there's no need to be all uptight about this stuff, right? Well, that's true, but you should at least know the stuff that's common knowledge. You should at least learn how to read. This old geezer thinks that instead of wasting time studying pointlessly, you should be spending your precious teen years doing more meaningful things. It was too profound of a statement to simply laugh off. But since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep of a meaning.
He's so shallow.
Maybe Mion's just dumb, I don't know. In place of a chime, the sound of the principal waving a handbell drifted through the classroom. Kei-chan, we're done. It's our wonderful lunchtime. In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands that signaled the end of the morning period.
Heiji-kun, let's have lunch, Star.
Heart. I might have been making a very troubled face. Rena smiled brightly at me. All right.
All right.
Let's eat.
Oh, shoot. Who's that?
All right. There seemed to be different cliques even within the class. Most of them were divided by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different and we had both boys and girls. But we
there's
weren't
only, like,
reserved
one.
around each other. This level of openness
Shouldn't it
makes
just be-
a transful student like me pretty happy.
Wait, shouldn't it be both boy and girls? Because there's only one.
Keiichi's the only boy in the entire town.
Wait, the open lab makes a transfer student? Trans?
Rena and Mion
Holy
pushed their
shit.
desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Rika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well. Now the grade schoolers are coming.
Heiji-kun! Howdy. I like that little pose. That little...
What was
yeah.
that voice? Very nya-ish.
I don't know. Look at the fucking hands.
It's cute. It's like cat
It's
paws.
so cute.
So cute. Rena waved her
So
chopsticks
cute.
in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunch boxes.
Heiji-kun's lunchbox is most assuredly filled with nothing but breadcrumbs. Like some sort of destitute plebeian.
She's literally you.
But yeah, why don't you just show it to us? Come now.
Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting. Well then, Representative me, please give the signal to start.
Me? Like from
At first,
Nintendo?
at first this was kind of embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if somebody else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends.
Where's the
Aw.
boy? You're the only. Oh my god.
He's the only one, okay. Let's see, whoever said that. The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the classroom. Itadakimasu. Really, though I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course there were other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls, well, at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle, where everybody was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mion noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, question mark?
Question mark?
Efforts? I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch. Yippee.
My. Isn't Sir Kieshi's lunch extravagant today? Doesn't he just eat like sardines?
I don't know. My, isn't Madame Satoko's lunch extra extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross counter, stabbing into each other's lunch.
Satoko Bateman? Wow, how trendy.
I'm just saying this, I don't know. I had delicious. Oh, this taro is good. The stewed stuff is good too, even cold.
I think this is like everyone, you know.
I guess. Yeah.
Was this Rika? Whatever. Fuck, I don't understand.
After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile.
Disappears.
I saved some from dinner last night. By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Rika-chan makes it for both of them every day. Rika-chan made this too? These taste like mom's home cooking. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold. They were done by hand with a knife. That's not easy to do. I guess Rika-chan's just good at this sort of thing.
She's really good at sewing, laundry, and stuff like that.
Suing.
Amazing, right? I'm gonna get sued. I'm gonna file bankruptcy.
I love suing people.
Rika, why does this meal taste like your mother? Amazing. Rika is quite exceptional in many ways.
That's nothing for you to boast about.
Dickhead.
Ren is actually better at cooking than I am.
That's because you're a man. Well, you know, star.
It seemed that the Star. How are you saying that out loud, Rena? It seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Rena, and she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her own words.
She like making
Rena's
emoticons.
Rena's lunch was really the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Rena's lunchbox constantly.
It's like actually her ribcage.
What? What?
Like they're eating it like inside of. Continue on.
I think this is you.
Everyone liked this this one so much before, so I made it a lot this time. It's good. I hope. Despair?
Got high marks from me. Ah, Mion, you're taking too much. Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Rika-chan reached over at the same time, and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Rena's lunchbox was soon empty.
Does she eat anything?
all her food.
Oh my god.
It was kind of bad that no one thought to leave any for Rena. But Rena seemed rather satisfied as she looked on.
Don't worry, she has a weird name.
Starving child.
How did you like it? Isn't Rena-chan an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Keiji-san.
I said that's nothing for you to boast about.
Oh my god.
You're not much different from Kei-chan, Satoko.
We're
Do you
not
tell
so
the difference
different, you
between
and I.
broccoli and cauliflower yet?
There's a difference?
Satoko's face went pale.
Hey, even if I can't tell the difference between broccoli, even I can tell the difference between a broccoli and cauliflower, you know?
Of course I can. I think
It's
that's...
so,
I don't know.
that's Mion. Um, of course I can. I really can.
It's really hard for her to lie.
Keiji-kun, both tasted good when they're boiled and topped with mayo, right? You shouldn't be picking on her. Mi-chan too.
Rena hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Satoko. Well, well, just pretend it's a little home ec lesson. Now then, Satoko, what's this? Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon. But that's asparagus.
Straight up.
She disintegrated. Mion made eye contact with me. Within 3 seconds, I had Rika-chan's mouth covered.
No,
Holding
within 0.3 seconds.
0.3. Holding a piece of bacon wrapped asparagus and giving her 2 choices. She's pretty terrible.
The yellow one is cauliflower. No, wait, the green one is cauliflower. She's crying.
So which,
Maybe I'm Mion-chan. probably the yellow one is broccoli and the blue one is cauliflower, but the green one is
Blue?
What? I'm so confused.
Do you really know which is which? How about you just give up? I expect no less from the class representative. The oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a hunch. That was I think that was my keyboard.
Oh.
But being brought into the Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal.
That's Mion.
Is it? No, I think that's you.
Yeah,
Because
because
she's
her
guessing the
character's...
veggies.
Oh, I do know. I mean, like, Mion's character is probably changed. I
It
do
changed
know.
last one.
I really do. I know, it's so weird.
Then answer the question.
I know.
She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age. What?
And her gender.
2?
Ha. Cute.
Rena entered a state of euphoria as it took
Oh my
her pulled her eyes
God,
off.
she's actually fucking insane.
Yeah, she's sadistic. Rena was in a state of bliss
Sister, sadistic.
as she rubbed her cheek against Satoko's head and smothered her to death.
Holy shit.
Smothers her with the pillow. Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile.
And then a meteor hit the earth. Rena. Mimi is picking on me. What? Cute. It's okay. Rena Oni-chan would take care of all those bad people who tease my little sister.
Push move there. The school got bombed. It was like a flash of lightning. What was that just now? Both Rena's fists shot out at supersonic speeds, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts on our faces. This is the first time you've gotten one, right? Today she went easy on us. Easy, you mean there's something harder than this? With that, Mion and I both slumped our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Rena. She's mentally unstable.
That seems like it. See? Sadako-chan, I took care of them. Cute. What's wrong with this character? I want to take you home.
Making sure Rena couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Damn it all, using Rena like a puppet. Rika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. Okay, well that was really something.
Wow, that was amazing.
No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretched off into the distance.
Hey, Kaji-kun, tomorrow do you have any plans or anything? Or anything? Or anything? Or anything? Or anything?
Huh? Are you okay, Rena? Such a direct question from Rena, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Rena saw me lost for
Hey,
words and realized that I misunderstood, and turned red as
hey,
well.
Keiji-kun, do you want to stab Rika-chan 50 times? Huh? She's never been this direct with me. No, no. I didn't mean it like that, you see.
So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Rena's in a panic, I went along with it a little. Oh really, so it wasn't meant that way.
Huh? Huh?
Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection.
Keiji-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Why? I thought this is disappearing.
Why are you disappearing?
The sprite fades out.
I'm right here, Rena.
Mi-chan.
Ah ha ha
I'm
ha.
sorry, that's you.
Unable to hold it in any longer, Mian slapped me on the back. I see, this little geezer never knew you could push the buttons like that. Wait, what? Geezer?
It's geezer. It's yeah.
Why?
Old geezer. Not geezers, like jeans.
That's how you spell
Old
G's.
geezers.
Whatever.
Geezer.
Geezer. Geese nuts.
Yep, I checked it on it's
No.
if we go to
Wahahaha.
Sorry, hold on. Huh? What is it?
Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach, while Rena flailed around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Okay. Feeling just a bit guilty, I ruffled Rena's hair. Kidding, sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one.
Huh? A joke? Since when? Since when? Is Schrodinger's joke?
About halfway through. Halfway? Okay-chan, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start. Huh? That means... Oh wait, no, that's you.
Oh, that's me. Huh? That means?
It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Oh, well, you see... Saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. We never found out what she wanted to do the next day. Oh wait, never mind, here we go.
Yeah.
So why were you asking if I'm free tomorrow, Rena?
Huh? Oh, what were you talking about? I can't remember anything.
It had been so long that Rena had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me.
That was 2 frames ago.
It's just Kei-chan. You probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself yet, can you? That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times like we're playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. I think that's normal anywhere. Yeah, I think I'd know how to get... I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school.
Oh, it's me, I guess?
Yeah.
Yes. So, you see, tomorrow, we were thinking that Mi-chan and I could escort you through Hinamizawa and show you around. I don't know. Hinamizawa? No.
That would be a godsend, frankly. I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. Probably free anyways. If I'm free.
If I'm free.
I was being stubborn so as not to give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say that so upfront. Oh, you little rapscallion.
Hey, Shikun. Yeah, free perhaps? Perhaps? Why does she keep stuttering?
I don't know. Speech quirk. While
Speech
Mian and
quirk.
I had our rather sour back and forth, Rena peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me. I apologize. I'm free.
Great!
The trepidation disappeared from Rena's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now. You're an all-star. Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Rena, isn't there? Seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her, compared to how quickly I agreed with Rena. But her being annoyed was very interesting, so I pushed Rena forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Rena. Maybe it should just be the two of us tomorrow, leave the grumpy old Mion behind.
Huh? Whoa, if Keiji-kun is okay with that, then... Marry
I'm the
me.
one... I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Keiichi, my Bara.
My...
My Bara?
Bara?
He's
Oh,
my
shit.
Bara. Never
My
mind.
little Bara.
It'd be great if the two of us could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Rena?
If we're bringing a basket, I'll make all the food, maybe.
Don't you ignore me too, Rena. I'll tell everyone that you two disappeared into the hotel district together.
Oh, shit. Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Oh my god, what? Wow,
You
she's
killed her.
literally me. Uncalled violence?
Yeah.
Being Nyanya?
I think you would fit very well into this universe as a character.
Isn't green supposed to represent tranquility? Why is like the fucking me on just like, what the fuck is wrong?
My dad made a very disturbed face looking at Rena.
Well, yeah, he hates me. Okay.
Don't say that.
I don't like looking at. Tomorrow is gonna be so fun. Later, Keiji-kun, Mi-chan. Bye.
Michan is dead.
Great.
Rena bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion, sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. Since you came, they've been become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it.
What?
I see. So Mion calls herself Old Geezer. Because she's like 1 year older. Okay. Maybe it'd be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Rena want to hit you. But I don't think violence like that is normal though, Keiichi.
I mean, okay, let's be fair here. Have you... Our high school's pretty violent.
What?
Continue on.
Okay. Or else this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the result might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. Felt like it was her knee, though. She kneed you in the face.
Oh my
Could it be
god,
that-
wait, what? What, she ran up me and then left? Goodbye,
Oh, yeah.
guys!
Yep.
Goodbye, you guys. That was so cute. So cute. Little, like...
Oh, your dead bodies are so cute.
I'm gonna self-report.
Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Rena. You need to train up and have a rematch. Kei-chan, you should. This old geezer will root for you. Mian and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Rena's infallible technique. Okay.
That was the worst thing I've seen in a while. Don't tell me that this. I swear, if this like ends the chapter.
I thought you said this chapter's like 18 hours or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Tips.
Whatever that
We're
is.
a mixed grade. We don't have uniforms. Okay, new tips. What's old tips?
We don't have uniform.
Wait. What's this? What's the soundtrack OST? What?
I'm guessing this is just important lore details.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, save. Please. Oh god.
Should we continue?
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, the first chapter is like 18. I mean, like, okay, I can look up
What?
chapter 1, Higurashi. How long to be? Yeah, it takes around like 12, 11 hours.
Damn. I took a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. I think it's the first part, not the first chapter, because the save file said end of chapter 1, so that was already chapter 1. I guess it's just like the first section of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it literally says Higurashi chapter 1 Onikakushi. So like,
That's weird.
don't worry about it.
I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Nice
Holy
fashion.
shit.
Why is she French?
Yeah, why is
Rena
she?
and Mion
Yeah,
were already waiting at the meeting place.
why is she so orpal?
Why is she Orpal and French?
Yeah. Why is she carrying a gun?
Where? Oh, wait, what the fuck? Why do you have a gun? Yeah. I'm
I
not
like how
gonna
there's no
say
orange
anything.
tip.
It's real.
It's a real gun.
Kei-chan, you're late. I'm gonna shoot you now. Sorry, the show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting.
Me-chan, you just got here yourself.
Shut up or I'll shoot you. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. Rena was? I don't see it. It's invisible.
This is
What is that?
Oh my god.
Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rena really did make a picnic.
Okay, so you point out the heavy handbag, but you don't point out the gun.
That's normal around here.
Wait,
Wait, why the hell do you even have a gun? Those are illegal in Japan.
Are we in Japan or Texas?
We're in Texas.
Open carry around here.
Hey-chan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like
Did
I
you pull out
forced
a
her to
gun?
do it. It's self-defense from Rena.
Oh my god, that look at that character sprite. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? Star.
Yo. She's been like this since last night, you know. Can you take responsibility for this? Alright. I am a man after all. I'll take responsibility.
What?
Huh.
Huh? Responsibility for what? Having a dick? For what?
That is a big responsibility.
Nah, it must be, I don't know, pretty small.
Or at least it used to be a responsibility.
Now
was-
it's,
2 days
now
ago.
it's all crumpled up. 2 days ago.
As we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes.
I'm sorry. Is no one
Except
gonna
this
point
was
out the
Rena.
gun? Is that
We were talking about
is
here.
that just?
It's for aesthetics.
I can't get my eyes off of it. It's fucking about 2 kilos, I guess.
When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5.
You're exaggerating. Keiji-kun is a boy after all.
Do the heavy lifting, Keiichi.
He could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Star. Haha, let's get going. Heave ho!
Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe it. The only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing that I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we begin our leisurely stroll. Carefree walk, bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. Whatever that is. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. You sure are saying words. It really was a nice place. Peaceful and calm and quiet. What?
See, this is what I mean.
What?
Like, how was this game translated? I'm so confused.
What do you mean? I mean,
Well,
there was...
Some of the dialogue is just like weirdly phrased and that kind of stuff.
I guess, I guess Japanese doesn't quite translate directly into English, so it works.
Yeah, but they have English
so.
translators.
Well, yeah.
You know.
But like, the way that it works is like more. The way the Japanese is spoken is more direct, I guess. I don't know how to say it. But the Steam version that I have is supposed to be the most recent and I assume best translation. I don't know. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be my Barakun, I believe. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody who we ran across. All of these passerby even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. Ahaha, it's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there are so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume that my Bara fella... They automatically assume it's that my Bara fella who just moved here. My mouth is weird feeling. Yep, that's how it works out.
I have weird... You're doing strange tongues.
My language. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Great.
Okay.
Why would you do that, though? Well, maybe they don't have the internet here. Yeah. Guns acceptable, porn not. Just like Texas.
Just like real life.
Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare.
Of course I know them. Wait. The first people we meet was that old man Takezo from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute.
Next, we met the well, maybe this is just Keiichi. I don't even know. Next, we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, and so they do shoot guns around here. He hopes to be an ace
Oh, I
sniper
see.
in the future. Great.
We're at
How are
war.
you people getting guns?
Because Higurashi is currently taking place during wartime. Don't you know? It said that at the start of the game.
Did it?
Definitely. You can trust me.
Uh-huh. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. You know
I
the
have a
names of
question.
everyone we pass by. What?
Oh, I see. Somebody like the two girls are like naming each person.
I guess so. We know the names of everyone we pass by and even their profiles?
I have their dossier right here.
Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I? Wait, what? I think that's Rena.
You're Keiichi Maibera. Or is this just like a
Maibara.
random person?
Some mean
You say
things
some
here.
mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person.
It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you've switched over to wearing boxers, didn't you? That's enough, that's enough.
That's because you're ticket boxers.
Enough of that. Apparently, there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Namizawa was not a place to be trifled with.
Did they like break into his closet?
She's spying on him in his window.
Yeah.
This feels like more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around.
That's right.
We're parading around like this after all, don't you all
You know,
think
we
so
have a
too?
gun.
That Kei-chan is fitting right in here at Hinamizawa. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again, in the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my, Maibara-kun, how wonderful for you, having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good! As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink.
So, now then, Star. About time we have lunch, maybe?
Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man. I'll do what I can. But it's just too much. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view.
Ooh, yes. Good idea. I agree.
Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal.
Wait. What proposal?
They're getting married?
Wow. Just in time for
Congrats.
Pride Month.
Crossing the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling.
This here is the Furud Shrine? I don't even know. Furud Shrine. Furude. It's probably the place with the best view around.
This place, be sure to remember it. She just says that every time she shows up. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for festival?
I don't know who's speaking here.
I don't know. The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festival had to be held in the summer.
Now then, spread out the lunch boxes in there.
Various colored lunch boxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. Sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, you know.
Is that's not in quotation marks.
I know, but he still read it. It's just his
Yeah.
thoughts. Drip, 0%. Neon
Yeah.
green dress. I'm not sure if I like it.
I like how it's like sort of cutting out. Like if you look at the right side of it.
What?
There's a little triangle that's like snipped out. No, on
Oh, here?
no, right hand side, right. No, oh, God.
What are you talking about?
From the bow, go right. It's the left hand side of the
From the
dress.
bow? Go right?
Yeah.
Oh, here?
Yeah, that area. Yeah, that's a
I
go.
mean, whatever. It's just too big for, I don't know. Good afternoon. It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see, this was her secret plan, to power in the numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty.
We just had to come here, since there is such a commotion. What is the meaning of this?
Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena.
Ah! I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? What?
The temple is public grounds, it's not yours.
I was gonna say.
Keiichi is right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. I don't know who's saying that. Someone. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko. Fuck Satoko.
Fuck Satoko. Get that. Oh, my homies hate Satoko. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Where's my spot?
No
Up on the
spot
tree.
for you, and nothing for you to eat. Starving child, starving to death.
Don't worry. There's some for you too.
None.
None.
I'll eat all
I'll
of
eat all of-
hers.
I don't even know who that is. Oh,
I think that's you.
I would allow that. Rika!
Here, chopsticks. You can eat those. Both
They're
Satoko
wooden.
and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really, Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this.
Have a plate. One for me-chan and Rika-chan. 2.
Did they even bring anything to drink with all this food?
I think there's like soup, so.
Probably.
Or
When are
I
Rena...
think they mentioned like broth, so I like in like the one that everyone likes.
What, miso?
Yeah, so I guess I'd like substitutes. Or they did bring water. It's not stated.
It doesn't matter, I just choked to death.
Wow,
Rena
Kei-chan,
whipped
you're
out
so
pairs
good
of
at gaslighting.
chopsticks and paper plates. Blech. If we don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up. That's right, okay. Shall we commence this battle?
Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone, Star.
Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different.
I will not allow you. I will not allow you to have this hamburger.
They're really punching
Get
each
the fuck
other?
off my lawn! Yeah,
Perk!
they,
Using your elbows against the rules, Satoko.
then I'll use my gun. Grabbing me in the back of my collar is also against the rules.
It was a tough battle, blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand.
Last meatball.
Satoko Hojo has been defeated. I mean, bested. Nom!
You already have enough balls, just give me one of them.
Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Oh, they're dead. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat.
Oh my
Thing
god.
that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around. Wait, what? From seeing you choke?
Because they're so cute.
Oh, it's so cute when you choke to death, Keiichi.
Yeah, gee, can you please choke?
Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up.
We should. Oh my god. Wait. Oh.
This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this.
You're supposed to put a comma there. Oh my god.
The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos. Okay, they brought tea. I let out a small
Thai,
sigh.
they're British.
Thai.
So this is in Texas. This is actually in London.
Ah, yes. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? I don't know.
It seems that long ago people ate in silence. And then people can speak. It must have made people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then the people were busy even while eating and didn't have enough time to complement the flavor.
That's just you.
Not saying it out loud, just like to myself, fuck you. But you know, just hearing how hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. Is my
She
life
blushed a
worth
little
it?
as she said that. We'll have to see about that. It was delicious. With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena directly with praise.
Fucking, it's a gun. The gun name praise.
The colors on this thing is kind of pissing me off. Like, black, bright blue, and bright purple. Like, do not go together.
Don't worry about it. This game is infallible.
My artist's mind.
It's perfect. Huh?
No, this on her neck should be black, and then these things should be purple, and there should be no blue. That's like too many things going on.
Are you saying that this game isn't perfect?
No. I'm not saying anything. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. Oh, yeah.
So cute!
After Rena uttered an unintelligible— What the— Boing! A ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof.
Heyo! Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. I mean, I'm gonna butcher you up and then eat you all. And make a nice stew out of your flesh and bones. Thank you!
It was really delicious. Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you can almost hear it.
To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! Wait, is this to my...
It's you. It's Rena.
Oh. Ta-da! These are special.
2 apple rabbits.
Oh, sorry.
After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them toward Rika-chan.
Oh, sorry.
After Rika-chan accepted them. Yeah. The mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What's with that defiant look?
Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rina-chan?
Don't push
I have a
yourself.
gun.
What kind of what kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab? Oh, hold on.
Well then. Allow me to show you. Wait.
Hold
Yeah.
out a gun. After Suzuko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. I think that's Satoko,
I
maybe.
think that's no, I think that's Keiichi.
Hey. So, wait. Rena Onichan's
Just read
lunch?
it.
Yeah, no, it's... Yeah, no, this is Satoko.
Yeah. Hey. So Rena Oni-chan's lunch? Satoko thought it was yummy, too.
Satoko looked up at her proudly while talking cutesy.
Don't say that! Rena, no!
What? How is that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it?
What do you
This
think
is a
Rena
Rena
is?
limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena.
Yeah? Oh. How?
Of course, I was asking the impossible. Rena glomped, glomped her and began rubbing her cheek against her.
Glomp.
Glomp.
Cute. Satoko is. I have to say the Satoko is so cute. Star, take you home. Wow.
The Raku-chan voice.
Yeah.
Little squirrel. Swish.
Sweet.
Stab.
What?
Push. What is happening? Setsuko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and Mew again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rena. That's unfair. To think she had such a trick.
I have a gun. If it accepts you so much, why not reward Rena with some praise?
Damn it.
Correct, Samuel.
What?
It's damn it in Japan of ease.
Kusogayo.
So
So. That was a dirty trick. My dad's obsessed with saying that. I don't know why. First of all, that wasn't even praise.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks?
Wait, no,
It's
she's
called a
gonna
gun.
bring out the gun.
That sounds great, Mion.
Mion. Oh, that's.
I don't know. It's probably you.
That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? It better be a gun.
Kate-chan is going to be the one who does it. What?
Oh my god. Assisted murder? Ho ho ho! Why don't I show have you show it to me then? I don't know if I
The writing of an wait, yeah, go.
The writing of an old maid. Why does she have a gun?
I don't know. The plan of attack she
It was
suggested was wicked.
It's just... Shoot.
Okay, so we're gonna shoot her 72 times in the chest. But it was the
Wait.
only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This
Well,
is
it's
all
never
freshly made,
explained.
right?
Even in the anime, it's never explained why she has a gun. She just
She
has
just likes
a gun.
guns.
It's really good.
No,
It
it's
really
all
is
no.
good, isn't it? Oh, sorry. No. Actually, most of it, almost all of it, was frozen stuff.
Then which ones did you make fresh?
Well, it's embarrassing. Do we really have to say it? Must I?
From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know this one, right?
Huh? Huh? Oh!
Rena turns an even deeper shade of red, the words "I can't believe it" practically written on her face.
How can you tell? How? That I made it.
Of course, Mian had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It
I
had
have a
your
gun.
smell.
I was gonna say that it has. I was gonna say like, it has your blood or whatever.
Silence enveloped the area. Rena, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did too.
It's her left leg.
I sure would like to try one of Rena's handmade apple rabbits or something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then at that moment,
I think
the
there's
world
a bomb.
exploded. The entire of the town blew up.
Satoko make a bomb. Yeah, the pipe bomb.
I'm a pipe bomb! Whoosh. It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits.
Please eat some keshikun. There's plenty for you.
Lark!
What?
Instantly,
Oh,
dozens
sure.
of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over.
I love force feeding. Okay. Say keshikun. Star.
My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth while she was squealing. One apple after another was forced into my mouth, more and more apples.
Oh, sorry.
How about them apples?
How
Satoko?
about
Looks
them
like we win.
apples? Aside to go. Looks like we win. Okay.
Kei-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it?
I can't believe it. Such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all.
Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it! I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from
Oh my
me.
god.
I slowly died.
He's dead.
At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something.
This is wrong. This is illegal. Rika-chan, you're not eating it? Did the salt water make it too strong? Maybe? Maybe you didn't shove it over and over again.
Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it onto her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit, I feel sorry for him. I want to save him from his eternal suffering. Pweh. It was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose.
Tonight I will kidnap and steal your organs, Star.
She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all the apples around me, gathered them up with a flip, and fixed them back up on a plate.
Now they're all fine. Okay? I'll give them to you, Rika-chan. Okay? With Kei-chan's saliva.
Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee. After having that plate of rabbits shoved to her, she whispered, "This is our victory." What? A comeback? Hi, ha. I just don't care anymore. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain.
My sacrifice. Higurashi, when they cry. Seventh when they cry.
Woohoo! It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Rena and Kei-chan, see you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great talk. Bleh. I almost choked.
I died. No, joking? So cute. See you tomorrow.
Satsuko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion and ended up with just Rena and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home.
Thanks for coming today, Keiji-kun. Was it fun?
Yeah, lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now.
Then, well, would you mind taking a little detour? Maybe into the forest? Death?
A detour? Is it far?
It's a bit of a walk. It won't take long. Why would you say this?
Uh, Since we've been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena, I quietly nodded. This is where I buried the
Oh wow,
body,
we're really
Keiichi.
going to the forest.
The Golden Gate Bridge?
This is where I watched my parents die.
Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view.
America.
We're in America, Keiichi. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper.
Ooh, so cute. It's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. I wonder what's here.
When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was with this garbage pile?
I'm getting married. It's not garbage.
Uh,
To me, it's a pile of treasures.
Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here?
It's a dead
Whoa.
body. Whoa. Sorry.
Wait,
Is it
no,
you?
it's her.
I can't tell. Whoa, a new pile. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I love what? She bounded up the unstable slope. I'd expected no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming. Whoa! My city-raised self was completely pitiful.
It's alright. Just stay right here, Keiji-kun. It won't take long for you to get crushed.
It slowly brings out the gun from behind her back. Just close your eyes, it'll all be over soon.
of mice, of mice and Rena.
Of Rena and men. One man. Rena kindly declined my accompaniment.
There's only one man in the entire universe. Don't fall. I only have so many bullets. Watch your step.
I'm fine. This is nothing at all. Literally bounding up the heap of trash, Rena disappeared over the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively runaround, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. A guy!
Holy
The second
shit.
ever male!
Fucking. What is this character design?
I don't know.
It's...
There was a typical looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera.
I don't think the typical looking photographers fucking buff.
His body was tanned and fit, but something about him seemed unreliable. He had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. How do you know? Whoa! You surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomitake. Freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask you who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad, my bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. Ah ha ha ha. So what you're saying is, I'm the same as the birds. No, well, you see, that image of a young man in the twilight was just
Okay, you
picturesque.
can get out of here right
Yeah,
out
can
now.
I leave now, please? I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging
Mion, can
around
you
with this
please grab
guy.
the gun?
Mion went home already, trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. This older guy, Tomitaka-san, he didn't mind my cautious response and continued rambling on by himself. I think that's
Hey,
Rena.
Lupin. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now.
Rena popped her head from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand.
You have somebody with you? I didn't know you were married.
Oh wait, no. You have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Dunno. Maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was,
Oh my god, I knew it! She really wasn't gonna corpse. Just thought it was really cute.
Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh, I responded like I would if I were talking with Rena and the others.
I like you've never said that before.
It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. I don't know if that's him talking, but... materializes.
It was quite a disturbing incident. We still haven't found an arm. Haha, Keiji-kun. Sorry to keep you. You were waiting a while, I guess?
I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Keiichi-kun.
I think it's like Keiji-kun, because it's like in quotation marks.
Yeah. If that really is your name. Tomitaka-san
Yeah.
chortled suggestively. Ugh. Then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit.
Samura. Keiji-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder?
It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now. How was it? Find a treasure trove?
Oh, yes. So, listen. You see, there was a Colonel Sanders. Like this. Wait a minute.
Colonel
We are in
Sanders
Texas.
Oh my god.
We're in Texas. Colonel Sanders doll.
Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing. Those statues they always have out in front of that fried chicken place. That life-size dummy?
Yes, Colonel Sanders star.
So cute.
I feel like I feel, I feel like the creator of this game was too hungry. Like they probably just went out to KFC while writing this. No, while writing this, they wanted to go out to KFC, and after they're done writing, they went to KFC.
Oh my god.
Ha, cute. I want to take it home. He's so hot.
Colonel
Damn.
Sanders good.
Damn, Tully. Damn.
Tully?
Yeah.
Tully thinks Colonel Sanders is hot?
Well, they're into older men.
Oh. Okay. I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right?
Is that me?
Yes.
It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home,
Wait,
right?
no, it's the second one.
It becomes the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. Hooray! Hack Green shared games are now available for you to...
That pops up
I can't
constantly.
dig it out easily. Yeah, I can't dig it out easily. There's no lamppost over there, so it'll get pretty dark soon.
Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out to repay you for that delicious picnic you prepared today.
Oh, what, like that's a fucking like. Thank you.
Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us.
Kejigun is gonna help, Star. I can take Colonel Sanders. Oh my god. Oh.
Oh,
What is this game?
your boyfriend. Rena staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey, Rena, long ago, did something happen here? I guess that's you.
Oh, it seemed like they were building a dam here. I didn't know the details though. How?
Just wondering if you knew about, an accident or something. What?
Oh, I killed that person. I don't know.
Her tone was disturbingly frank.
I'm sorry, can you
It
read that,
sounded
please?
more like a
Wait,
denial than an answer.
wait, can you scroll up?
What?
Wait, go down. I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank.
Yeah.
Okay.
I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression.
Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago.
Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure that...
So you see, I don't really know much from before that. Sorry. Sorry.
Don't really know. Don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course, it would be like that. It wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. No, girls love talking about murder. What are you talking about?
A
It's their
murder party
favorite
wasn't supposed to end
activity.
up this way. Yeah, I mean, like, considering our friend group, murder is like the main talking point.
Uh-huh.
So why are you talking
I
about this, Keiji-kun? Like, what are you
I
saying here?
think I can't. I don't know who's saying this, but
It's Kishi. It's Keshi because
yeah,
he's
it seems I
repeating
haven't been able to
information
find
he.
one of the arms. If it's just like Tomitaka's son said, oh, Tomitaka was the one that said that. I didn't realize that. Huh.
Yeah.
Then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. This was truly a Higurashi when they cry.
Chapter 1. How long is this how long is the entire game?
A bajillion hours.
Let me look it up.
View all tips. I'm not quite sure what these are. Oh, these are like little
Oh,
shorts. So Rena, we're the
do you
same
wanna not
age.
should we not do the shorts and then
I don't know.
let's do this
Skip.
one and then let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Let's just do one of them and then we at the end of the game or whatever, or maybe like at the start of the next episode.
Sure.
It's
That's you.
you're Silverna.
So Rena, we're the same age?
No. Yes. That's right. We're the same zodiac animal too. I'm a
Hey now,
Cancer.
it would be weird if we were the same age, but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, I see. Wait. Neon, you're pretty smart. I don't know who was saying that. Okay.
What month were you born, by the way, Keiji? Kun? I'm July. Hey, that's me. She really
Literally
is
you.
me, for
Oh my
real.
god. I'm puffed up with pride. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Heh, don't even. It's
Sorry.
impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you bet $1 per month.
Huh? Huh? Why? What?
Rena panicked and suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun. I can't help myself.
You're a dickhead. Jesus fucking Christ.
So that means you were born in April, Kei-chan? Right on. Too bad, Rena. I'm already far older than Rena.
Why is she not texting?
Yes, like 1 month. Oh, I see.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Then you're the same age as Michan.
Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up soon enough. Mion sickered through her nose.
That's because I have a knife.
You know, that's not something to get all high and mighty about. As if I'm one to talk. Heh. Now that you mention it, you're a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're into underclassmen, then I can be an underclassman from now on. What the what?
Michan, you're not making any sense to me, honestly. What the
Just by seeing Rena's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Then Sotoko and Rika-chan are underclassmen. Their grade is so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they?
Ikeji-kun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think. What?
What? I think. You're not making any sense yourself, Rena. I'll just grab
This
onto
is
her head
all-
and
this is-
scruff it a bit. Scruff it up a bit.
Hello! S-T-O-B-I-D! Okay, so these are like
well,
short stories.
I don't know.
I don't know, it's still going on? What the hell?
I don't know. I wondered about it before, yeah. I was wondering why the school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms. Can't help it. Building is being rented from the forestry services after all. If she says it like that, it makes sense. I've thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel. There are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to this real school? There was one here from forever ago from the war. Got dilapidated. They closed it down. Probably was a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, students would have to attend the school in the city. That's pretty far though, you know.
What school would that be?
Did you know there's a school if you pass by the Okinomiya train station, turn at the hospital, and head towards the pediatrics department?
What? So far.
I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Rene's reaction. I don't know what they're talking about. Well, that's why. The guys that didn't want to commute to Okinomiya rented out the building from the forestry services and are attending the pseudo schoolhouse here.
About half the children of Hinamizawa goes there. Oh, fine. There's quite a lot of kids that come here on bike 1 hour away.
Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education.
That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. I totally agree with Rena on this one.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Let's try our best. I feel like this, like...
All of you, try your
Like,
best.
what's
This
the-
old man will be rooting for you.
speech-
You're a man?
No, I'm so glad on your transitioning.
Woohoo! Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for
I'm-
exams, shouldn't you? Your
I'm
future is
gay
bleak with
and
grades like this.
transgender as well.
Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, then I'll just mooch off Kei-chan, as he works forever.
What do you mean by work forever? What do you mean?
Your mom. Hey, you're too loud. Be quiet during self-study, the teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Oh lord. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It's just as Mion says, this school has nothing to do with higher education. But it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Like gremlin
a gun.
children. And guns. Alright.
Okay, we're not gonna do any of
it's-
these seem like they're too long.
Alright. I'll save.
Save save on chapter whatever.
Well, it doesn't matter.
You just save on different slots, yeah.
Well, and we're not gonna be going back, right? I don't imagine.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'll put it in a different slot if it's something really important. But, yeah.
Like there's a choice. This game does
Yeah.
have different routes, right?
I don't know.
Okay, no.
Colonel Sanders? Ah, of course it's right up her alley. I understand her wanting to take Satoko and Rika-chan, but I can't understand the Colonel Sanders. What's so good about that four-eyed geezer, whatever. Probably better to hear it from Rena, don't you think? Whoops. She likes old men. She'll probably just say 'cause it's so cute, though. Does Rena often go to the construction site to hunt for treasure? Every now and then she says she's going to have a look. But a girl her age rummaging around in garbage is, well, if Rena enjoys it, then I think it's fine. What were they doing over there? Dam construction? It hadn't bugged me
Okay.
since yesterday, like an itch I couldn't scratch. Haha, it was cancelled a long time ago. Everyone gathered together and fought against it. Hearing an ominous word like fought come from Rika-chan's mouth startled me. That's right. It was unbelievable. They said Hinamizawa would be sunk into the reservoir and we had no say into the matter. They were like, we're gonna kill all of you. So
Well,
I'm able to be here because the protest succeeded. Yeah. We all just took out our guns and they backed off.
Not property. I'm sorry. I didn't keep you waiting, did I?
These are both you, I guess.
My deepest apologies, Sketchy-kun, the Sketchy-san. It took me a while to powder my nose.
Satoko. Wait to use the cannon until you really have to go. It's a lot easier since it shoots right out. Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean?
You're talking about a gun. I'm so confused. What the fuck is this line? Eek. How dare you speak that way to a maiden of unparalleled beauty such as myself? What does can mean?
What?
What does can mean? Use the can?
Can? Oh, that's the toilet.
That's what it means?
Yes.
I'm so out of the loop.
Kids these days.
Talking about their cans and their OnlyFans.
Who is she calling a maiden? If Satoko was really a maiden, she wouldn't have reacted like that. The usual hijinks ensued. Now then, gentlemen, in accordance with the rules of our society, I bring a point to discussion. He, Keiichi Maibara, wishes to be included as a member in our activities. What say you?
Actually, my pronouns are... Rena has no objections. Oh. I wonder if the likes of this peasant is up to the task. Wow, she's just like me for real.
Me and Satoko both approve. The three that Mion had queried voiced their approval. A unanimous decision. Congratulations, Keiichi Maibara-kun. I present to you the honor of being allowed to take the entrance exam for our club. Start from the beginning. I didn't say I would join. What club is this? What our club does, you see, in order to cope with our complicated society, we perform various activities under different sets of rules. Sometimes they are in your favor, that is incredibly vague. And sometimes they work against you. It's Russian roulette.
I'm pretty. Oh my god, I'm pretty weak, so I prefer if you didn't if you didn't single me out. Let's try to get along. You're so naive, Rena. Rena. The laws of the jungle is the survival of the fittest.
This was starting to sound a bit sketchy. So what kind of club
It
was
did
it?
before?
To sum it up, it's a club where we play games together.
Oh my god, this is
Chan was
really
the only one.
You're right!
What?
Oh my god, you're really right. This is Russian roulette.
Was the only one to answer my question with a pertinent response. So
What's
basically,
yours?
this club put Mion's hobby of collecting games to use. By playing these various games that Mion had hoarded every day, it seemed that, depending on the day, there were prizes for the winner or a penalty for the person who finished in last place. I'll make this clear right now, we aren't playing house here. You should treat each other with win or loss, as if your life depends on it, alright? What's wrong with just having fun?
Guys, hey, Color?
Huh?
Foreshadowing is a narrative device used to...
What do you mean? Don't make it sound so crazy. Sure is. The first rule of our society. I'm the Joker.
Holy shit. I'm the Joker, babe.
Aim only for the first place. Going at it half-assed just because it's a game is not allowed.
It's just a game's a weak mindset. Rules number 2 of our society. For that reason, you are obligated to make all efforts, make all possible efforts.
The way Sajoko said
That
it
way.
sounded like she was saying use any means necessary.
With a gun.
Of course, I will do my best too.
I'm pretty weak, but I'm trying my best. You said that twice now. Okay.
I don't believe you. You kind of punted us across the entire lawn
Honestly,
yesterday.
you're fucking. First of all, you're very strong. You're just absolutely. You're totally lying. This person's just a liar. There's no way that she's. I'm pretty weak. What is this kind of tomfoolery?
I knew what they were trying to say. In a game where everybody is aiming for the top, it's rather unsportsmanlike to play just for fun. Alright then, I too will go all out. With that, I was finally ready for the rite of initiation, my baptism into the club. Christianity Club?
I love Christianity.
We're
The
going to
Christianity
become
Gamer
priests,
Club?
Keiichi. A word of warning, Kei-chan. Rena can get pretty nasty. This initiation looks like it's going to be rough. Mion began fishing around the student lockers in the back of the room. They have the games here at the school? Well, it's club equipment, so I guess it's fine. Complicated games will put Kei-chan at a disadvantage, so today we'll play a game that you should be familiar with. How
Russian
about a
roulette.
standard card game, like Old Bachelor?
What is
Wow.
that? What is?
Great
I'm so
sound effects.
confused.
Alright, let's do this!
What's Old Bachelor?
I don't know.
Continue on.
Can't really get into it unless there's a penalty. This time, the loser will be sentenced to having their face drawn on. What do you think?
Whoa. It won't be oil-based paint, right? I want to be Homestuck character, right?
Oil-based face painting with oil-based paint? That is perfect. Satoko cheered the idea on. Oh, there was no quotation mark. She didn't even flinch at the thought of such a severe penalty.
She read that out loud in her mind.
Seemed like she was raring to go.
She forgot to use her vocal cords.
She said it telepathically. If it's going to be like this, then I can't lose either. Then I'll just cut the deck and start dealing.
Open the game.
Old Bachelor is pretty much the same as Old Maid. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I don't know how to play Old Maid anyway.
Me too, I don't
There's
know.
only one difference, there's no Joker. Then how are we living in a society if there's no Joker?
I'm the Joker, baby.
Mion is the Joker. In its place, one card is pulled at the start, meaning there will be one card without a match left over at the end. You don't know which card will end up being the Joker. It's a pretty thrilling game. Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about.
Well, you just said there's no
Intense
Joker.
music plays.
Whatever. I'll take the cards out now.
Rena took out one card and left it face down on the table. Everyone stared at the card intently. Well, it'll be pretty obvious in the end game. No way to tell at the start. but the rest of them were very serious. They didn't seem as relaxed as I was. They compared their cards to the one face down, all the while gauging each other's reactions. It was as if they could see what the face down card was. No, it couldn't be. This desk is pretty worn out. No way, can everyone tell by the scratches what the card on the table is? What the...
Remember the second rule of our society. Geijikin must try his hardest to win as well. A number of the cards are quite unique, Keiji-kun. Are quite unique. Keiji-kun should be able to remember them pretty quickly.
She said that so matter-of-factly. Suits me fine. Don't think a little thing like that can be your crutch. I lashed out angrily, but it was rather obvious I was at a disadvantage. After all, they'd gone so far as to memorize the wear and tear of each individual card. It wasn't a simple game of Old Bachelor. If this was a test, then they were playing with the answer sheet in front of them. Whoa. Bring it!
Wowie.
I'll take advantage of your carelessness and beat you at your own game. The baseless confidence would soon be crushed. Kikiki! How about I tell you your hand starting from right, your hand starting from the right. 3, 4, 9, Jack, Queen. Warg.
Rawr.
By the way, the Bachelor is the Jack of the Diamonds. Grrrg.
I can tell what they are even if you switch them around. I am out.
I thought I was prepared for, but for it to be this brutal is just overwhelming.
Rena comes out.
Demons.
I'm pretty weak, so you can.
You're all demons. Rena isn't a demon, are you?
I'm pretty weak. Sorry, Keiji-kun. Well, I'm actually strong. This is a 3 of cards, isn't it? I'm out.
Whoa. Not even a hint of mercy. Rena, even Rika-chan. These club activities weren't to be trifled with. Alumnus of the club would definitely survive the cruelest of situations. Our entire class had self-detonating collars strapped to their necks and were dropped into a death match on a deserted island. These guys would probably take it to it like fish to water.
Jabberwock? Jabberwock Island?
Jabberwock Island? Dagarapa?
Dagarapa.
I can already picture their joy as they hunt down each of their classmates. Oh my god.
Well, it really is.
It's a lowest point system. The order itself dictates the points. Whoever has the lowest point total wins. Since Keiichi finished last, he has 5 points. There's already a 5 marked down in my scoreboard.
I think it's unfair to Keiji-kun if we don't use a new deck.
It's fine, it's fine. Kei-chan is a man after all. He can turn the tables even if the odds are stacked against him, right?
It's fitting for a lowly peasant to scamper home and soak their pillows with tears, don't you think?
A petite hand laid itself atop my head, which was trembling from uncontainable frustration. It was Rika-chan's. Keep on fighting, yeah? Thanks to Rika-chan's words of encouragement, I was able to calm down. You need to be calm, especially when you're cornered. That's the power I can muster during this crisis. Think clearly, Keiichi Maibara. Take your time and look at the cards carefully. It's just as Rena said, each card had its own distinct markings that made them stand out. Memorizing them should be pretty simple. Think about what you can do in this situation. Try everything in your power to improve your chances of victory.
For everyone else.
Kill everyone.
Whoa, great, Keiji-kun. Just like that.
I covered the uniquely marked cards with my hands, or other cards, arranging them in such a way that they couldn't be seen. The one with the ripped corner should be the 5, and I'm out. I couldn't let any of those precious hints slip by me. All information is a weapon. Then it was my turn. Satsuko fanned out her cards for me.
You see, I wanted the 7. Is this Is it this one?
I wonder about that.
I
You won't know unless you take it. There was a bit of dismay in her expression. Like she doesn't want it taken. That kind of expression. I won't let that momentary lapse slip by me. I know. It's this one. Got it. 7 of spades. Boom. A cheer of ooh rang out.
Whoa. What is this? What is this? The 7 should be the hardest one of all to tell them apart. Well,
It wasn't from memorizing the markings. Those slight changes in their expressions as I was selecting a card were enough. You can't hide it from me, Kei-chan. This mark means it's the 2 of diamonds. What? She was startled by her own misread. Of course everyone else was too.
whoa. It's rare that Michan gets a card wrong.
No.
N-
Kei-chan, could it be you? They told them apart by different marks. Mark was a nail scratch, so I put a new one on it.
Are you saying that he disguised it as a 2 of diamonds? Damn. What an impressive show of wit. Honestly, that's pretty smart.
Keiichi landed a clean hit. I don't get what the hell this game is even is. Like they're just guessing what the cards are based on
Don't worry about it.
the like how scratched up it is. Like what if if they were playing this with a new deck, how is this even supposed to be played without the random guessing?
Okay, so... Old Maid, freaking...
Well,
So
it's
Old
Old
Maid
Bachelor,
is-
not Old Maid.
No, it's... Yeah, but it's the same as Old Maid with without without the Joker.
I guess. Keiichi landed a clean hit. Clap, clap, clap.
That's great, Keiji-kun. That was an incredible match, you know?
Having defeated the Forerunner, Neon, my brilliant battle, left me ecstatic. But by total points, it was already set in stone that Neon would win, and I would finish last. I laughed heartily, selecting the tone of my voice carefully to get on Neon's nerves. Well, I'm going to end up the loser, but I'm satisfied with one-upping Neon at the end. Bwahaha! That should be the proverbial slap in the face to Neon, who is at the top already and ensured victory. Even if Kei-chan gets first place this round, he'll still end up last place overall. Don't you hate that? Of course I do. Let's have a duel. One chance. If you win, then we'll swap first and last place.
No,
How about
not
it?
that kind
You
of
up for
duel.
it?
Not that kind of duel, Keiji.
Put the gun away. She fell for it. A chance for an upset that wouldn't be possible without goading her into it. One chance, you say? Let me hear the rules. Neon discarded 2 cards from her hand and replaced one with the Joker card that was on the table, then shuffled the resulting hand behind her back.
I'm the Joker, baby.
The card in my right hand or the card in my left? If Kei-chan can guess which hand the Joker's in, then he wins. When you turned around just now, you didn't pull out the Joker, did you? If you lose, I'll show the card in the other hand. That's okay? The other 3 gulped nervously at the unexpected turn of events. Alright. You've got it. Neon grasped 1 card in each hand and thrust them out at me. First, I needed to inspect them closely. The card on the right hand had no distinguishing marks. I couldn't tell which one it was.
Which one do I wonder? Keiji-kun? Be careful. Meow.
I feel like you're saying Keiji, not Kichi.
Sorry, Kichi.
Kichi, go Kichi.
Too much your turn to die.
Yeah, of course, this is my chance for a big comeback. Looking closely at the card on the left, I saw a little wear, but it wasn't one I hadn't seen before.
Ah, that card is... Yay!
I didn't let that bit from Satoko slip by me. Mion clucked her tongue. I didn't recognize the mark on the left card from the small number that I had memorized. I didn't know what the left card was, but I could already tell from Satoko's reaction that the card had already appeared during the game. Since it had already appeared before, it meant that it definitely wasn't the Joker. Oh? Kei-chan thinks it's the one on the right? Will you choose that one then? Will you? The left card definitely wasn't the Joker. If I could trust that theory, then I should have been able to declare that the card on the right was the Joker. Even without Mion's taunting, the one on the right was the most suspicious, but wasn't it a bit too rash to decide based solely on Satoko's reaction? My tongue is going numb. More carefully. I remember now. That mark, the left card. No doubt about it. The 7 of clubs.
It's the 7 of club, I see.
Wait. Is that me? I don't know. The one, the card on the left, the 7 of clubs. That meant the card on the right was the Joker. And then, just before my hand touched the right card, I froze. I would expect no less from you. There was a wave of murmurs amongst the onlookers at my sudden halt, right before I confirmed the right card was the Joker. Huh?
Oh, that's me. Huh? What could Kechi-kun possibly, Kechi-san possibly be saying? I mean, the left one is...
Shh. Oh? What makes you so certain about that right one isn't the Joker, Kei-chan? Mion let loose an unexpected question. Everyone else was baffled. I don't know what the card on the right could be, but I know that the one on the left is the 7 of clubs.
Then... doesn't that leave you with the right one as the Joker? One of them has to be the Joker, right? What if none of them are?
Oh, like Spirited Away. Yeah.
What, Spirited
One
Away?
of those... The movie. When she has to, like,
Which
determine which one of the pigs is actually her parents at the end, and then it was actually none of them.
I never saw it.
No? Dang. Yeah, one of those is the Joker, right? Whoops. Keiichi has good intuition.
Huh? Rika-chan, what do you mean by...
So basically, the 7 of clubs. I discarded that by matching it with Satoko's 7 of spades earlier. Everyone's attention snapped at the discarded pile at the same time. The truth of the matter couldn't be discerned from the sloppy pile. So that means Mion pocketed one of the discarded cards, then aligned it over the left card, and that means...
I see, I get it. This left card is being decided as the 7 of clubs, right? I can't tell if that's you saying it or... what.
No, it's her. It was the first time since the start of the match that a shadow ran across Mion's expression, and I didn't let that slip by. Then with a grand flourish, I declared it loudly. The Joker is the left one! It was an intense moment. That 1 second felt like an eternity for everyone there. Breaking that silence, the first one to speak was Mion. Being the first president of this club, I've been witness to a variety of performances, Kei-chan. Yours is the best. The best of the best of the best. That was probably the greatest compliment Mion could give. Mion accepted defeat, dropping the cards from both hands. My comeback victory! Rika-chan placed her hand on my head and began petting it, congratulating me on my victory.
Huh? Rika-chan is...
Rena and Satoko gaped at us, as if they had seen a ghost. What is it, Rena? It's not as if I cheated or anything, right? That was fair and square.
Rika, only pet someone on the head to console them.
Huh? What's the meaning of... That moment, Rena let out a small shriek.
Kechi-kun, this is how it was.
You know, Kei-chan, I thought you read into it that far. Everyone froze. No, it was just me. It was a gamble. If you had just jumped to conclusions like a little brat, then I would have lost. It was the answer everyone was certain about. Mion picked up the card from the losing hand. Kei-chan, you know, you should take pride in this loss. She turned it around. That was the card that proclaimed the victor of this duel. The card under the 7 of clubs. Unbelievable, it was the 2 of diamonds. It was a setup behind the setup. If I just picked the right one without reading so deeply into it. I, Mion Senazaki, as the club president, do accept Keiichi Maibara's membership into our club. As I slumped onto my knees, dazed, everybody let out a round of applause for the excellent effort I gave despite my defeat.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
The match is now over. Today's victor is me, Mion Sonozaki, and our exalted loser is Keiichi Maibara. Everyone made a commotion, applauding cheerfully. I felt I was bested, but I was so soundly beaten that it unexpectedly felt rather refreshing.
When Michan pulls a trick like a little trick behind her back, I got excited, thinking she's gonna do it again. When Keiichi-kun stopped the moment before touching the correct card, I thought he fell for it. Thundercross split attack.
He fell for it quite handily. Huh? Hey, wait. All of them knew from the start and still got so excited so earnestly? Everyone got excited to make it more fun. You're all demons, you monsters!
Foreshadowing is a narrative device.
They're all demons? Now then, Kei-chan, it's time for your penalty. We need to draw penises on his
Come on,
face.
Akuma.
Since it's your
It's
first day
time.
participating. It's punishment time!
It's punishment time.
Boop, 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 boop. I'll go easy, okay? It would be a problem if you refused to come to school. The other 3 members held down my arms and shoulders firmly. Mion approached, licking her lips. That's what I said. We're gonna draw penises all over you. Her right hand went to pull something out of her pocket. That's a felt tip marker and it's lodged and oil-based. Okay, here we go. She took the cap off the marker and brought it slowly to my face while I was immobilized. No!
No.
I let out my death throes. He died.
Yay.
How long should we go? Wait, let me check how
Should we
long
just
it's
end it
been
off
recording.
here and continue?
It's been 2.5 hours.
Should we stop here and continue on next time?
Sure, if you want. Okay, well, that's the end. Goodbye, YouTube channel. I don't have a
Goodbye. We're gonna delete the channel.
outro. We're gonna delete my entire YouTube channel, so stay tuned.
Yippee!
Log. Wait. Auto.
Save.
quick load.
Save. Quick save.
I clicked that like
No,
5
yeah.
times.
Okay. Menu? Go to menu. Save and load.
Okay.
That just quit exit game.
Well, we're doing the YouTube outro, so any last words? Okay, cool.